A very good morning, everyone. Today we're going to start a new chapter of Indian economy, rural development. So this is the second last chapter of your half-yearly syllabus. Now, what is rural development? Why it is important? Why we need to study this topic? I'm going to explain you. First of all, the meaning of rural development. What is rural development? Rural development means an action plan for the social and economic growth of rural areas. If you consider about the India, more than the two-thirds population of India are still living in villages. And it is a moral duty of the government to help or to adopt the strategies that could help the rural development of these people. So, in each and every budget, the government of India plans how to help the rural people. What are the strategies that we need to adopt to help these people? So, rural development is nothing. It is related to the action plans that the government of India adopts each and every year to help the development of the rural areas of the country. Right? I know you know about the rural areas, the village areas, the countrysides. So all the policies that adopted by the government of India to help the people who are living in the rural area is known as the rural development. So the majority of the people who lives in the rural area are farmers dealing with agriculture. So the main focus of this chapter is to work for the agriculture sector that I will explain the later videos of this chapter. So moving forwards, after the meaning of rural development, we have importance. What is the importance of rural development? Why we study this chapter at class +2? Now, what is the importance? There is something importance of rural development, and that's why it's teaching in your curriculum. So, what is the importance of rural development? The first and the foremost reason why rural development is important, the main reason is the bulk of population in India lives in rural areas. Still, majority of population of our country are living in rural areas and doing agriculture. So it's a duty of the government to do something for these people, and these are then the subject of covered in under the rural development. The second thing is structural imbalance. If you read the Indian economy in detail, you would find in India we have structural imbalance. What is structural imbalance? Like in India, some regions are too developed. They have a modern facilities, everything. And in some area, the development is too less that the people do not have a proper mode of transportation. Right? They use either their animals to go somewhere, the boats and all that, because they don't have a connectivity of roads as well. So we have a structural imbalance that we need to, do something to remove these imbalances, because balanced development is the best development forever. Okay. The third thing is GDP growth. As we know that the lion's share of our population still depends upon the agriculture, and they contribute the very huge in our GDP. So for the growth of our GDP, it's really important to work for the agriculture sector, to work for the people who contributing to the GDP. The last reason for studying the rural development is standard of living. It is a duty of the government to raise the standard of living everyone. The rural people should also enjoy the same modern facilities that we urban people are enjoying. So the government should adopt the plans and strategies to promote the rural development and the facilities in these areas, so that they could enjoy the equal standard of living that way people enjoy in the cities. Okay, moving forward, challenges. Rural development, we know that what is rural development? Why is it important? The third thing that we need to study when we are dealing with this chapter is challenges. What are the challenges that we need to address while working with the rural development. So the challenges are classified in two categories. The number one is lingering challenges, and the second one is emerging challenges. You know the word of challenges, right? What are the issues we are facing while for the rural development is the challenges. So there are two type of challenges, lingering challenges and emerging challenges. What is lingering challenges? Like the challenges that was in the past, still in the future, and it would continue still in the present, and still it will continue in the future. Let me explain this thing again. It refer to the challenges that was present in the past में थे, still present अभी भी हैं, and it would be present in future as well, और future में भी होंगे. These challenges are known as lingering challenges. जो रूरल एरिया के challenges past में थे, present में है और future में भी रहेंगे, उसको हम बोलते हैं lingering challenges. The second one is emerging challenges. Emerging challenges are the challenges that comes with the passages of time, with the day-to-day conditions and all that. So it varies from country to country or from the year after year, the challenges emerge. So these are related with the time aspect, but the lingering challenges are not related with the time. They are always present in the development of the rural areas. So the lingering challenges, starting with the lingering challenges, we have two types of lingering challenges in plus 2 syllabus. Number one is challenges of rural credit, and then number two is the challenges of rural marketing. So starting with the rural credit, what is rural credit? Credit mean उधार, financial help farmers को देना, rural people को, जो लोग rural area में रहते हैं, they want credit, they want a money facility or financial help to update their living style. So this is known as rural credit. So providing rural credit is the biggest duty of the government so that the farmers could adopt modern technology or diversify their portfolio. So how the rural credit can be provided? ठीक है, रूरल क्रेडिट तो पता लग गया हमें, किसी लोगों फार्मर्स को फाइनेंशियल हेल्प प्रोवाइड करनी कि आप अपना लेवल ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड उठा लो या नई टेक्नोलॉजी अडॉप्ट कर लो, व्हाटएवर आपको पैसा चाहिए हम देंगे अपने आपके डेवलपमेंट के लिए. तो ये दो तरह से दिया जाता है या दो तरह से मिलता है. फर्स्ट इज़ इंस्टीट्यूशन क्रेडिट एंड द अदर वन इज़ नॉन इंस्टीट्यूशन क्रेडिट. अब इंस्टीट्यूशन क्रेडिट क्या है? What is institution credit? Whenever the government is aware what is the rate of interest is going to be charged from the farmers and what are the loan conditions applied to the farmers, it is known as institution credit. In India, there are provided through the three ways. Number one is commercial banks. There is no need to explain the commercial banks. So everyone knows about what is commercial bank. The SBI, the PNB, and all the other commercial banks. The second one, RRB. That I need to explain. What is RRB? RRB is a regional rural banks. These banks are opened specially for the development of rural development areas. These banks are opened in rural areas where the banks are established just to help the farmers, just to help the rural people, so that they could adopt the modern lifestyle, they could adopt the modern technologies, they could develop themselves. So these are regional rural banks. And the third and the last one is cooperative societies. You heard about the cooperative societies. The people make their own society, the self-help groups. Even the government helps to establish group of people who could help the other people, to get the raw material, to provide them the loan facilities and all that. So these are the cooperative societies. What is cooperative societies? Making some organization to help the others, right? In India, we have a cooperative societies that help the farmers to get the loan at cheap rate, to provide agriculture materials like machinery, seeds and other raw materials at very, very cheap rate, at a very reasonable rate. So these are cooperative societies. The second one is non-institution credit. What is non-institution credit? Whenever the government is not aware what is the going in the credit market, when the government is not aware what is the rate of interest will be charged from the farmer, it's covered under the non-institutional credit. Non-institutional credit is completely out of the government area, where there we have money lenders, village traders and landlords. I think you have all watched in movies where money lenders cheated the farmers that they charge near about 25 to 30% rate of interest to the farmers. That is very, very high compared to the if we're going compared to the commercial banks, which is going to be charged only 4 to 5% is right. So non-institution credit is refers to the credit where the just government rules and regulations are not followed. The money lender can charge any rate of interest to anyone, or any conditions and criteria will be followed from the farmers during or after the loan repayment. So under the non-institutional credit, we have three things: money lenders, village traders, and landlords. So this is finished our basic concepts of rural development. In the next videos, I will explain again the lingering challenges in more detail, or the second portion of the lingering challenges in my next video. Thank you.